Hey everybody, Roxaboxa90 here with what would be my countdown for Theros in terms of EDH commander cards, but I'm more going to do it as a top 20. It's really 22, but we'll just say 20 because it sounds cooler. But my top 22 Theros commander cards, and here's why. We'll start off with Perforos, God of the Forge. He's big, he's bad, he's legendary, so he can be run as a commander, which I think is a big deal. That he can be really comboed up and messed around with a lot of generators, because whenever another creature enters the battlefield, he shocks, which may not seem like much, but it's each opponent. So you're playing multiplayer board, it's going to be really, really damaging over time to a lot of players. Being able to fire breathe is additional nice touch. It makes not only running him in some sort of aggro build, but it also is a self-pump for Voltron, so if you need to get that extra couple of damage in, he could even make himself stronger. So I think he's very, very cool and has the potential to be pretty interesting red commander, mono red commander. Then we have Menomai the Ageless. Again, this is not in specific order, I'm just running through my top 22 of the set. Menomai the Ageless, again, legendary. Would it be a commander? It could be. A lot of shenanigans could go on with him, but he would definitely be on the more expensive end, and some people might not run him as a commander. But even in a regular deck, being able to swing in, you give him some sort of evasion outside of flying and unblockable, for example, he becomes an engine of extra turns. The extra attacks only matter if he's your commander, but even then, it doesn't necessarily matter because you use those turns to do awesome things. So, yeah, I think he's pretty good. Probably less good as a commander than he is as just a card you make ridiculous and give you extra turns over and over and over again, but definitely see him messing around with a lot of players and probably making for some unfun games, though he's awesome. Elspeth Sun's Champion is pretty decent just because she makes tokens, and she also has a Wrath on a Stick effect, which is a big deal in EDH. Having Wraths available regularly is really important. The emblem's not so important, but I think being able to generate 3 power regularly and have a Wrath on a Stick makes her pretty decent. And of course, more niche builds, definitely token-oriented builds, will run her, no question. Then we have Xenagos the Reveler. Again, he's fine in EDH Commander, nothing crazy, but he's very, very nice ramp. And his final ability will be a lot of fun for various aggro decks. Mael of the Anima is the one off the top of my head that I think he'll be a nice shoo-in for, just because of what he does. He's solid ramp, he makes creatures, and he lets you mess around with even more creatures. So he will see some play in EDH, in the right decks. Colossus of Akros, yes! We have another huge beater, Timmy, funny, weirdo dude. He's going to be a lot of fun in Commander. I'm sure lots of decks will run him, especially mono green decks that can ramp up like crazy. He'll fit right up nice alongside Blightsteel Colossus, Darksteel, Ulamog, etc. All the huge fatties. He's going to be another fun card for Commander, no question. And the Indestructible, I think, is what makes him playable. Without the Indestructible, I just don't think he would be quite good enough. Then we have Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. This card is legendary, not that it really matters in Commander, but the fact that it can add mana equal to Devotion, I think will be very, very nice for monocolor builds, which is the main place we'll see play. So while a little bit limited in its range, monocolor decks will love this card, and I think it's great. Meletis Charlatan is just a regular rare, but guys, he, for 3 mana on a stick, lets you copy instants and sorceries. Not just yours, it's the controller of target instant, spell, or sorcery. So while it limits you to only your spells, I think that being able to copy on a stick makes him have, he gives a lot of raw value out of his card. So I think he has potential, especially because there are decks that rely on wizards, Azami, anyone, and he has a very powerful effect. The aggravating thing, which I meant to say before I tongue tripped, was that he don't want to help your opponent. It only copies. See, the controller of the instant sorcery spell copies it. So if your opponent plays a spell, they get the copy, which is annoying. But if you're the one playing the spell, having it on a stick, I think, is great. So a little narrow, but awesome. Swan Song is really, really powerful. A 1-cost instant counter spell that gets rid of enchantments, instants, or sorceries is very viable. It's in fact probably better than Negate. The 2/2 flyer doesn't really make a big deal when you're countering, you're countering a huge spell effect. It just doesn't matter, and I definitely will see play at the very least in sideboards. Sylvan Caryatid. is a ramper that has hexproof, so it's not easily removed. It's not a huge card, but in mono, 1v1 builds, definitely can see some play, and of course mono green will probably like this guy. Ashen Rider, huge, fatty, that allows you to mess around with ETB. I see this creature seeing play all across the place, whether it be Reanimator, whether it be Flicker, whether it be various types of control. It's just insanely powerful. It's much more flexible than Angel of Despair. And for the 8 mana in EDH, I think I would pick it over Angel of Despair. It's just better. Then we have Thassa, God of the Sea. Could be probably one of the few fair-ish mono blue commanders. Very, very powerful. Great Voltron. It can give itself unblockable, which makes it really, really nice as a Voltron commander. And being able to set up your draw every turn is very good. Curse of the Swine is big. Huge exile effect. In EDH, exile makes a big deal, and having a wrath effect that lets you scale the exiling is huge. The 2/2 boars don't matter at all in EDH. Very, very powerful card. Bind of Thassa, it lets you draw a card and do damage, so decks like Edric, which didn't need any more card draw, suddenly become even more annoying, so Vomit. And making your opponent's creatures tap down and attack you can be pretty good if you're running an aggro build, so I think this could work very, very well that way. Or even if you want to get that last bit of Voltron damage, that's pretty nice that you can get rid of their blockers. Triad of Fates is going to be a very fun commander. I don't really see it doing much outside of the command zone, but if you're outside of the commander position, but if you're running it from the command zone, then it can have a lot of fun synergies and will be a lot of fun to play with. Maybe not the best commander, but a lot of fun. Thoughtseize is more, I'm just mentioning it in passing. It's a pretty decent card in EDH. It's always been, so it's a reprint, and I'm not really going to talk about it. Daxos of Meletis, a lot of fun. I like that he gives himself evasion against anything that could really hurt him. All you got to do is boost him up a tiny bit, give him some sort of hexproof of some sort, and he's crazy. Just swinging in, even though he's not that big, the fact that you can play him over and over again because of his cheap mana cost, and the fact that you can gain life from cards' mana cost that he exiles, you can cast without any mana cost issues, which is very, very big for some of the spells in EDH and some of the creatures. I think that just being able to take off your opponent's top card, it'll be a lot of fun for control, and it's one of the more fun blue-white commanders, I think, that have come out recently, in recent memory. Prophet of Krufix is just insane. Put Teferi and Seaborn Muse together, what do you get? Prophet of Krufix, which will be a shoo-in to almost every single deck that could run either of these colors, or both of these colors. Hythonia of the Cruel, huge beater, wrath effect on a stick. When you play from the command zone, it can do monstrosity again. It's pretty much going to be a very interesting mono-black control general, and I think it'll be a nice card just to have in the deck, to have any deck as a wrath effect because it's on a stick, and it makes for a 7/9 death touch after the wrath. Yeah, it's nice. Hero's Downfall, just being able to get rid of a Planeswalker or a creature for 3 at instant speed. It's just a really nice removal. We had Dreadbore, but that wasn't quite as quick as this card, so it's going to go right into my draw on a deck, and I'm sure it'll see play across EDH, no question. It's raw value. Whip of Erebos, again, lifelink is great, but it's really raw value. It's on a stick, being able to get back creatures from your graveyard. And yeah, you can't quite do the infinite loops that some people want to do, but it will see lots and lots of play across a number of builds, not just mono black. Very, very powerful card. Be careful with the foil value on this card. I think it'll probably go up. Steam Augury is it's a worse fact or fiction, but come on. Decks that are running blue and red, or more, including those colors, will definitely consider this card. I know I am for Thraxamunder. It's just raw value, even with the slightly worse effect. Artisan of Forms is an awesome clone effect. There's really no drawback to it other than you have to target it in order to activate its effect. But for 2 mana, I mean, the other 2 mana is Phantasmal Image, and that has the drawback of dying the instant it's targeted. This card, when it's targeted, becomes better. So yeah, definitely some serious potential, and not all that difficult to cast for targeting. So I think that could definitely work into EDH. And that is our list of 22. So I'm going to say that is our list of 20 with an additional 2, because 20 sounds a lot cooler. So that's our list of 20. Let me know what you guys think about these cards. I'm saying that right off the bat, I think Theros has a whole bunch of fun, awesome commanders and playable EDH cards in it. and I'm really looking forward to playing them. I hope you are too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section as well. Check out my channel sponsors in the description of the video, and as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.